It seemed like just another regular morning at Westfield High, a school held in high regard right in the heart of Austin, Texas. Students were all over the hallways, some grouped together, deep in conversation, others scrambling to wrap up those last-minute assignments. But for Jacob Miller, the day kicked off with a strange, unsettled feeling. Jacob wasn't quite like the others. While most of his classmates came from families filled with doctors, lawyers, and successful entrepreneurs, Jacob came from much humbler roots. He was the grandson of a hard-working farmer. His hands still bore the calluses from early morning chores, and the faint smell of fresh soil clung to his boots. He wasn't much of a talker, and that quietness? It often made him a target for teasing. As Jacob stepped into the classroom, his eyes caught the disapproving glare of Miss Whitmore, the history teacher. She was strict, held sky-high standards, and had this cold, commanding presence that could make even the boldest student shrink in their seat. The class began, but Jacob's mind lagged behind. The early morning work with the animals back at the farm had drained him, making it hard to focus. When Miss Whitmore suddenly called on him with a question about the Civil War, he paused, fumbling to gather his thoughts. "Mr. Miller," she snapped, arms crossed tightly. "If you spent half as much time paying attention in class as you do doing whatever it is out in those fields, you wouldn't be making a fool of yourself." Laughter bubbled up around the room. A lump formed in Jacob's throat. He stayed silent. "Honestly, I don't see the point in wasting time on students clearly not cut out for academics," she continued, her voice biting. "Maybe stick to what you know, feeding pigs and turning dirt." Silence fell. Even those who had laughed earlier suddenly shifted in their seats, uneasy. Jacob slowly rose to his feet, hands clenched around the desk edge, knuckles pale. "I may not be book smart like everyone else here," he said, voice calm but firm, "but that doesn't mean I don't deserve respect." Miss Whitmore let out a slight smirk. "Then prove it. Or kindly leave my classroom." The words stung deep, but Jacob didn't respond. He packed up his things and walked out, heart racing with humiliation. The very next day, as the early sun painted golden streaks across the campus, something unexpected stirred the air. A loud, rhythmic thudding, helicopter blades, grew louder above. Teachers and students rushed outside, eyes wide in shock as a sleek black helicopter landed right on the school's football field. From it stepped a tall, imposing figure in a crisp tailored suit, James Miller, Jacob's grandfather. A name well known all across Texas, not just for his massive farmland, but for building a booming agri-business empire. He'd led the charge in sustainable farming, providing organic produce to top-tier restaurants and major retailers nationwide. Jacob followed just behind him, posture upright, face unreadable. As they made their way into the school building, a hush spread like wildfire. Even Miss Whitmore, who rarely showed emotion, looked visibly rattled. "I hear there was a problem with my grandson in your class yesterday?" Mr. Miller's voice echoed through the hallway, low and commanding. Miss Whitmore blinked quickly. "Mr. Miller, I assure you I treat all my students the same." "Is that right?" he cut in sharply, pulling a folded check from his coat pocket. "Because the school? It gets a good chunk of funding from the Miller Foundation. That science lab you're so proud of, I built it. And your history program? I sponsor that too." He stepped closer. "Yet you saw fit to single out and humiliate my grandson because of where he comes from?" Color drained from Miss Whitmore's face. "I raised Jacob to know that hard work is something to be proud of," he went on, never breaking eye contact. "Maybe you should take a lesson from that. Learn to respect the people who help put food on your table." A wave of whispers passed through the students gathered around. Then Jacob stepped forward, his voice steady. "I'm not asking for any favors," he said. "I just want to be treated with the same respect as everyone else." Miss Whitmore nodded stiffly, eyes low. "I understand. I'm sorry, Jacob." A small, satisfied smile crept across Mr. Miller's face. "Good. Because respect shouldn't be based on money or background. It's earned through grit, through character. And my grandson? He's got both." Cheers erupted from the crowd. Students who once snickered now gave Jacob nods of admiration. From that moment on, Jacob,